All right, so you're a new homeowner, maybe you're a tenant in a house, and you have a problem with your toilet. Today, we're going to be talking about how do you replace the toilet seat. Maybe you're looking to upgrade your toilet seat. Maybe you don't like that flimsy plastic one, or something happened and you got to change it out. Now, this video is not meant for the seasoned homeowner, the one who's fixed a million things in their house. So let's all calm down if you're one of those people. This is meant for somebody who's new and maybe they're not as experienced in regular home maintenance. So what we're going to do today, we're going to go ahead and discuss what are toilet seats, what's a round toilet seat, what's an elongated toilet seat, how do you tell the difference between the two, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the manufacturer. So is it a wooden one? Is it plastic? Maybe you want to consider a bidet, something to that effect. And then finally, I'm going to show you how to install the toilet seat. It is incredibly simple, so if you want to skip all of the decision process and just go straight to the actual install, go ahead, skip forward. You'll see it. I'm going to be putting some bookmarks in there to make it a little bit easier for you. You can do it. I have faith in you. So let's go ahead, discuss a little bit about the seats themselves, and then we're going to go take a trip to Home Depot. So like I said a minute ago, the very first thing we got to discuss are the two different types of toilet seat. You got your round and elongated, and they sound exactly like the name suggests. One is more round and the other one is more elongated. So how do you as a tenant or a homeowner know which one you need? Well, one, you could always measure it, but that's no fun. Nobody wants to sit there with a tape measure on the toilet seat that's already there and kind of figure it out using math. No, way easier, just look at it, right? If you look at the center part of this toilet seat, it will either look like a circle or it'll look like an egg. It's very simple. If it looks like a ball or it looks like a circle, it's a round toilet seat. And if it looks like an egg, it's going to be an elongated toilet seat. You can force an elongated toilet seat on a round bowl, but it's going to feel weird. It might not sit right. And you could kind of sometimes do the same thing with the round one. But it's very important to make sure you get the right fit. Otherwise, you're not going to have a really comfortable time when you're doing your business on the toilet. Once you pick if you're going to go with round or if you're going to go with elongated, now you got to figure out what kind of material are you going to work with. So we have a couple options. We can either go with plastic or we can go with wood. Now, wood doesn't necessarily sound all that appealing now, does it? You might think, how's it not get all that moisture in there? What's going to keep it from getting all gnarly and rotting? Well, it's because a lot of them are actually going to have enamel on them. So when we have plastic, we have to think about maintenance, right? So plastic obviously is going to be hard, and it's what you'll usually see in a lot of commercial environments. So I'm not a huge fan of plastic because I think it feels cheap and it's loud when you put it down. Wood can also be loud, but they have ways of dealing with that called soft-close toilets. So you've got plastic. Everybody's seen it. It's molded. It looks like a toilet seat, and it's plastic-based. Now you have the wooden ones. The wooden ones, like I said, they're going to have an enamel on them. Basically, it's going to be what makes it white, and it's going to make it smooth and where water can't get into it. Generally, you'll see these on a lot more homes because most people think that they're more comfortable. Most people like them more. So you'll see it more commonly throughout most of our area, especially in Baltimore. Then you got to think about features. So does it soft close? Is it normal? Maybe it's heated. Those are some pretty cool ones. You don't see them very often. I haven't really come across a house that has a heated toilet seat in quite a while. Or you might have one that comes with a built-in bidet. So I just got to Home Depot a moment ago, and we're going to go inside. We're going to go take a look at the toilet seats and their selection so we can show one and tell you what's going on inside of there. When you get into Home Depot, you're going to see, wow, that's an awful lot of different toilet seats. And yes, there are so many different seats and so many different varieties and styles and shapes. That's why I wanted to make this video, so I can show you as the new homeowner or a tenant, what do you want to look for, especially if you're trying to replace a cheap toilet seat because maybe you broke it and you're the tenant. Don't worry, they're usually not that expensive, but they can be. So let's go ahead inside, take a look at the aisle, and see what we're working with. And this is going to be our magic wall of toilet seats. You can see that there are so many different varieties, and they come handily named for you. So you have your elongated ones right here, and the rounded ones right over there. You see how they're very similar, but the difference is just a few inches where this one's a little bit longer. The benefit of shopping here is that you're actually going to be able to see what the toilet seat actually looks like. Do you like the way it feels? Do you not like the way it feels? What kind of system are you working with? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick a normal round toilet. We're not going to worry about any of this off-slam stuff. None of that stuff's not that crazy, but for an extra basically double price, to me it's not worth it. Just close the toilet like a normal human being. So we're gonna go ahead and grab that one, and then we're gonna go home. I'm gonna show you how do we put it in. So we're done inside of Home Depot. Went ahead and picked a round toilet as I planned to, because obviously I have a round toilet at my house, so I needed a round seat. When I was choosing this, what made me kind of differentiate for what I wanted was cost, right? We're here to try and save a little bit of money and fix this ourselves and not hire a handyman or hire a plumber to do this for us. So what I needed to do was pick one that would work. The product that I went with was Glacier Bay. It was about 16 bucks. Not the end of the world, pretty reasonably priced. The problem was that if I wanted to get a soft closed toilet seat, now we're looking at close to $32, $34. And in some cases, some of them were 40 or 50 bucks. And in my opinion, I can't bring myself to spend that much money for a toilet seat. So we're going to go ahead like a normal human being and get a normal toilet seat. With that being said, obviously, if you have kids or if you have like people who don't care, like a roommate who's just slamming that thing down, and maybe they're the ones who broke it in the first place, might not hurt to consider getting soft close. So we have our toilet seat. Now we got to go back and change the old broken one for this nice new one. I'm going to show you step by step how we do it. So see you in a second. Okay, we got back from Home Depot. We have all of the stuff that we need. So let's go ahead and take a look at the actual toilet and the seat that we have to replace. Now, you can remember that you can wear gloves while you're doing this if this is something that grosses you out. It's not the end of the world. You know, you should be cleaning your toilet seat regularly, but if you don't panic. So let's look at the seat, and then we're going to talk about how to install it because it's really easy. All right, we got ourselves a plain Jane toilet. Now, this particular one has access points right back here. So you want to pop those open, and then we're going to look on the side. So we can see that we have ourselves a different style of screw compared to what comes in the box for the new toilet seat. Our new toilet seat's going to be good old Glacier Bay, and this is the design that we got. We can see when we pop this bad boy open that it's going to have a nice wrap to it, and we're going to pull this out real fast. All right, so this is our Glacier Bay's toilet seat. You can see we got ourselves a nice cover, and this is going to be the hardware. Now, you can see that we have a point to where we're going to need a screwdriver. So to do this, you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, but don't panic. You can do a majority of this just by hand. The screwdriver is just to kind of tighten it up towards the end. So I like to keep all of this junk right here and toss it back into the original box that it came into. So once we get the bolts of the old toilet undone, what we're going to do is we're going to slide the old seat into the box. So the next step is, if you want to wear gloves, now's a good time to go ahead and do it. But basically, this should just be slightly more tight than hand, and you just kind of pull on it and unscrew it. Once it unscrews, these two bolts are going to come out, and then you're going to put the new ones into here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Once we get the seat off, I'll see you on the other side, and we can talk about how to put the new toilet seat on. If you get stuck, don't panic. All you have to do is just go ahead, cut it off. It's just plastic, right? So you can take a little hacksaw if necessary, and you can just start sawing on it until the plastic falls apart, and then you're good to go. Be careful, your toilet is porcelain. So if you start hammering on it, wailing on it, or putting a lot of force on that, you could potentially break the toilet. And now you go from an easy $15 repair to $100, $200, depending on the toilet you need to buy. So now we have the toilet seat off. A lot of times when you take this off, you're going to see this kind of gross. So go ahead at this time, clean this all out. And then we're going to take and unpack these screws. So how this works is you basically have a nut and a bolt. And what you're going to do is you're going to send the bolts straight down, just like this. And you're just going to give it a little bit of a push, and then we are good to go. Next, we're going to take these little fellas, and we're going to screw them onto those bolts. And this little tab right here is going to catch right along the side of the toilet seat. That's what makes it to where these are able to stay in place. So let's go ahead and screw these on real quick, and then we'll be able to put the actual seat together. So the way that I like to do this is I like to, with one hand, hold up here, and with the other hand, I like to hold down in this part. While I'm holding underneath, I will take one hand and I will rotate this to get it hand tight. Once we get it to where it doesn't spin anymore and it's snug, that's when we're going to grab the screwdriver and actually screw this down. So we did it on this side. So now what we'll do is we'll do it on this side, and then we're ready to actually put the seat together. So I'm gonna tighten this down and I'll see you in a few seconds. Pretty much with this type of nut and bolt, once you get it hand tight, you're basically already there. So the screwdriver is just there to get it a little extra. Most of the time it'll be 1, maybe 2 more turns. You don't want to crank this thing down because one day you're gonna have to replace the toilet seat. Now, why I like this particular brand is there's a little clip for the seat. So you can actually swap out with a different Glacier Bay product anytime you want. Now, you may not like your Glacier Bay, and that's okay. But let's go ahead, pop this on, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is to lock that toilet seat in place. So as we look at the seat, if we look really close, we're gonna see the lock and the unlock. So in order to put this on, we have to cockeye these little tabs. And then all you do is you just place it down, just like so. You hear the click, and you rotate. And now the toilet seat is in place. So you do it on the other side, lock, toilet seat is now in place. So if you jiggle it, it doesn't go anywhere. You open it, close it, perfectly fine. Now, the tricky part is, again, it's not a soft close. So you have to make sure that when you're holding it, you put it down correctly. This is a little bit louder, but this is what a wooden toilet looks like, or toilet seat looks like. It's gonna be molded, so basically what'll happen is instead of having actual wood, it's gonna be just a compress, kind of like, think about it kind of like plywood, where it's a bunch of little bits that are mushed together, and then they make this nice, shiny top coat. Hopefully, you found this useful. This may seem like an easy project, and it is. That's why I wanted to show you how easy it is for you to do. All said, once you get the bolts off and put everything back on, this is a 5-minute job, maybe 10 if you struggle to get the bolts off. You're gonna spend more time going to Home Depot, finding the toilet seat, than you're actually gonna be spending putting the stupid thing on. This is a project that you as a homeowner or a tenant can easily do. Don't stress yourself out. A lot of these projects at home are very simple and just take a little bit of effort on your end. That's why I wanted to make this video, so I could show you how easy it is and, give you a little bit of education on what's going on with the actual toilet seats. If you found this useful, if you found this informative, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.